For nearly 2 decades, Mike Tomlin has been the face of the Pittsburgh Steelers. His tenure has been defined by consistency, discipline, and a remarkable ability to keep the franchise competitive year after year. Few coaches in the National Football League can match his streak of winning seasons or his reputation for leadership inside the locker room. But greatness in the NFL is rarely measured by consistency alone. It's measured by championships. And for many around Pittsburgh, one question continues to linger over Tomlin's long tenure. How did one of the most talented offensive rosters of the modern era fail to even reach a Super Bowl? That question continues to resurface whenever people revisit the Steelers' infamous Killer Bees era, a period that should have defined a dynasty, but instead became a symbol of missed opportunity.
The Killer Bees.
One of the NFL's most explosive offenses during the late 2010s, the Steelers possessed arguably the most dangerous offensive trio in football. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was still playing at a high level. Running back Le'Veon Bell had revolutionized the position with his patient running style. Wide receiver Antonio Brown was widely considered the best receiver in the league. Together, they formed the backbone of an offense capable of overwhelming defenses in multiple ways. Roethlisberger's deep ball accuracy and veteran instincts allowed the offense to stretch the field vertically. Bell's unique running style, pausing behind the line before exploding through gaps, created nightmares for defensive coordinators. Brown, meanwhile, delivered elite route running, speed, and body control that made him nearly impossible to cover one-on-one. But the offense wasn't just about star skill players. The Steelers' offensive line during that era was widely regarded as one of the best units in football. Anchored by All-Pro guard David DeCastro and Pro Bowl center Marcus Pouncey, the line also featured stalwarts like Alejandro Villanueva and Ramon Foster. Add explosive receiver Martavis Bryant into the mix, and the Steelers' offense looked unstoppable on paper. Even players inside the locker room recognized the level of talent surrounding them. Former Steelers long snapper Kameron Canaday, who joined the team in 2017, recently reflected on that roster and how dominant it felt from the inside. According to Canaday, the group fully expected to reach a Super Bowl. Instead, they never even made it to the conference championship game. The 2017 season, the peak that became the collapse. If there is a single season that encapsulates the frustration of the Killer Bees era, it's 2017. Everything seemed to be falling into place for Pittsburgh that year. The Steelers finished the regular season 13-3, capturing the AFC North title and securing the number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. Their offense ranked among the most productive in the league, and many analysts believed Pittsburgh was the biggest threat to the dynasty of the New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady. On paper, the path to the Super Bowl looked realistic, but the postseason told a completely different story. In the AFC divisional round, Pittsburgh faced the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that had surprised the league with its elite defense, but still wasn't widely viewed as a true championship contender. The Steelers were heavy favorites. Instead, the game quickly spiraled into chaos. The playoff disaster against Jacksonville. From the opening minutes, the Steelers looked unprepared. The Jaguars jumped out to an early lead, exposing defensive breakdowns and capitalizing on costly mistakes. Turnovers, missed assignments, and poor discipline allowed Jacksonville to control the tempo of the game. By the time Pittsburgh's offense found its rhythm, the damage had already been done. Roethlisberger eventually threw for 469 yards and 5 touchdowns, but the Steelers were constantly playing from behind. Despite a late comeback attempt, Jacksonville held on for a stunning 45-42 victory, eliminating Pittsburgh from the playoffs. For many fans and analysts, that loss became one of the most shocking postseason defeats in franchise history. And for players like Canaday, the result was almost unbelievable. From inside the locker room, the roster looked too talented to lose to Jacksonville, yet it happened anyway. Why that loss became Tomlin's biggest criticism. The Jaguars' defeat didn't just end a season. It symbolized a larger pattern that critics associate with Tomlin's teams. Throughout his tenure, Pittsburgh often excelled during the regular season. The Steelers consistently posted winning records and remained competitive in the AFC playoff race. But when the postseason arrived, the results frequently fell short of expectations. Tomlin finished his Steelers' tenure with an 8-12 playoff record, including a stretch of 9 consecutive seasons without a playoff victory. For a coach who rarely had losing seasons, that postseason drought created a strange contradiction. The Steelers were almost always good, but they were rarely great when it mattered most. The end of the Killer Bees era. The loss to Jacksonville also quietly marked the beginning of the end for one of the NFL's most talented offensive trios. After the 2017 season, Bell never played another snap for Pittsburgh. Contract disputes led him to sit out the entire 2018 season before eventually leaving in free agency. Brown remained dominant statistically in 2018, but tensions with the organization escalated late in the year. His relationship with the team deteriorated rapidly, and Pittsburgh ultimately traded him to the Las Vegas Raiders. Within 2 years, the core of the Killer Bees offense had completely dissolved. What once looked like a potential dynasty ended without a single Super Bowl appearance. The legacy question that still follows Tomlin. Despite the criticism, Tomlin's career accomplishments remain impressive. He became one of the youngest head coaches to win a Super Bowl when Pittsburgh captured Super Bowl X3 in 2009. He also maintained the Steelers' reputation as one of the most stable organizations in professional sports. Yet the Killer Bees era continues to cast a long shadow over his legacy. For a franchise known for maximizing talent and winning championships, that stretch of explosive offensive power produced surprisingly little postseason success. And whenever former players revisit those years, the same thought tends to surface. That team was too talented not to reach a Super Bowl, which is exactly why, nearly 2 decades into Tomlin's time in Pittsburgh, the 2017 season is still remembered as the moment when the Steelers' biggest opportunity slipped away. For nearly 2 decades, Mike Tomlin has been the face of the Pittsburgh Steelers. His tenure has been defined by consistency, discipline, and a remarkable ability to keep the franchise competitive year after year. Few coaches in the National Football League can match his streak of winning seasons or his reputation for leadership inside the locker room. But greatness in the NFL is rarely measured by consistency alone. It's measured by championships. And for many around Pittsburgh, one question continues to linger over Tomlin's long tenure. How did one of the most talented offensive rosters of the modern era fail to even reach a Super Bowl? That question continues to resurface whenever people revisit the Steelers' infamous Killer Bees era, a period that should have defined a dynasty but instead became a symbol of missed opportunity. The Killer Bees